Welcome back to the channel, Blackout Slot Car RC. Today doing another quick update on our HO train set. This is a layout I'm building for my boys, one which birthday is coming up this week, and also just something that we can add to our YouTube channel to show you guys some of the fun that they have with it. So if you guys remember on our first video, when I first set up the layout, I did have an incline to our layout. I just recently took out the incline because I kept having a problem with the train cars uncoupling at the top of the incline and coming back down the track. But I went to the hobby store and talked to a guy there, and we talked about the scenic woodlands, some type of incline cushions that they had that just make sure that your train set is nice and level perfectly. But I didn't end up picking them up. I like to just take bare styrofoam, scrap styrofoam like this, and make and create the stuff myself. So I came home, and after further thought and looking at the track, I realized that with our set we purchased, it came with its own set of train cars. It was a lifelike train set, and all the train cars in that train set is new, and a lot of our train cars that we have right here are used. So what I noticed is on some train cars, this little coupler, and again, this is just for beginners like myself, for all the advanced people that may already know this, it's nothing new to you, but for someone just getting into trains like me and my boys, this is a problem that you may run across. But I noticed that on some of the trains, the coupling sits at different positions. One may be a little bit slightly lower, one may be slightly up more. And I do believe at the further review, that's what was happening on our incline. As the train would go up, some of the cars, that coupling was a little bit slightly higher than the other one, was tending to uncouple and come off, which was causing the cars to come back down the track. But after spending a whole entire day of setting it up and taking the styrofoam and carving the styrofoam out all around the layout, I decided to take it down, start all over, and just start with something that's flat, basic. The kids can run more, can enjoy. We're not having a problem so much with the cars derailing. With my old layout, I had it right here where it kind of came down and went to a decline. The cars would always derail right there too. So with this basic flat, I like to call it just a starter oval, we seem to not be having that problem. We can link a lot more train cars onto our locomotives and pull them. As before with the hill, I was only able to get the locomotive and sometime one or two cars around it. And I'm gonna start right here and show you guys. We just have a basic re-railer track. We got one giant loop that comes around our main track that goes around. And then we also have some switches into our layout so we can pass in and out of lanes. But here's that crossing gate that came in the on the unboxing video that we got from the seller that sold us the train. On our old layout, previous layout, I had it over here, but now I don't have the room for it. It was causing problems with the train running along the main track. So I replaced that with the bridge set that he gave me. here, and we put the crossing gate over here. But we got our main track here, as you can see. And this is just a piece of styrofoam I'm going to be cutting to place over the track and just try to mimic an incline of the road over here. But we have our secondary track that comes around. We got a switch from our main track that goes inside to our secondary track. We have another switch on our secondary track that comes right here to a little tail track where we can store and stage cars at. And if we come up more, we have another switch that comes out to this tail, which comes to another switch that would lead either to the main staging area, which is our coal mine that we're putting in effect, working on building, or it just comes to a secondary one for the staging cars. Right here, this red marker is just a little brief rough draft of a road passing that I'm going to put on the board. Right here, possibly some buildings or cars or something like that. Here's some of the styrofoam that I had sprayed. This is just spray styrofoam, then I carved it to the shape that I wanted it. But this is some of the old styrofoam that was on the old layout. I was able to salvage and bring it into the new layout. But over here, if we come down past the bridge, we got another switch, like I said, that comes and goes from our second back out to our main, and also goes into the second track as well, coming over to this turn. We added a couple switches over here for some staging areas for train cars. We got one here and also one in the middle. There's our main track out there with those tanker cars, and our secondary runs along here. So we got a tail right here and another one opposite of here that stages cars, and it also runs off of a switch. And there's our switch from the front to our stage and main. All of the switches that's included on here are manual switches. I'm gonna figure something out for here. Temporarily, I can reach over there, but once I start to fill in the board more, that may become an issue. Right here, just kind of put a rough draft of where I might have, like a sidewalk area, parking. This is more of the road that passes all the way through our layout. Once it's done, right here, I was thinking of like a little pond or lake type of area. I never did any type of lake or pond or any of the dioramas or layouts that I've done, so that's going to be something new I'm looking forward to doing. But that road would then come out here, just turn and go back out across the crosswalk section area that we're putting together too. But here's more of that styrofoam. After I place my styrofoam and carve it, I like to apply plaster of Paris, which is just a basic casting compound to the rock to help harden it up and also help protect it. But I ran out of that stuff. I was watching a guy on YouTube who actually used basic bath tissue for the casting of his rocks and mountains. So I gave that a try. I figured tissue, is cheaper than the casting, so I gave that a try. This was my first try of this, but it did harden up. It is pretty hard. I mean, it doesn't tear, and this is just a basic styrofoam structure with that toilet paper around it. So after I did the first one, I came back the second day and I applied it over here to this area. Let me move that light a little bit. But over here, I actually used a paper towel, and as you may can see, it's a little bit more coarse than the toilet tissue. It holds the same. I mean, it doesn't break and tear, and it's actually very hard. It's almost like the casting compound that I would have put on it. Not as dense and hard, but it is durable and hard. So today I was wondering if I would be able to take that and apply paint, or would I still have to put my plaster on it? And you guys may not be able to see it due to the light, but there we go. I was able to apply some paint to it, so it does hold paint. This is just a solid paint. This was more of a watered down, like wash type of painting texture, but it does hold paint. So I may try to apply just solid paint on it, see how it holds on the area of it before I apply the casting. But if it doesn't, I will be going back to just applying some casting to it before it's painted. But we got our main power supply right here, which is just an old vintage throttle controller. Like I said, we have a bridge here that was elevated on the opposite side of the track. So now I got it sitting flat. I got to try to figure out something to do with that. But I may try to hollow out some of the styrofoam and maybe put it as a little gully or rock valley or something like that. Or we may just leave it alone how it is. But we went from a layout that would have just been a one train layout. Well, it's still basically a one train layout because all the track is interconnected to each other. But we went from what would have been just a basic scenic track to somewhat of more of a working track. So now I can learn myself and also teach my sons how to use the switches on the track, when the train come by. And also it just gives us a different type of look and feel to the train when it is running, to be able to switch in and out. So I'm gonna come back a little bit and kind of just stop yabbing and show you guys a little bit more. Here's more of that styrofoam that we did have on the old layout. And again, I'm gonna just take that paper towel, Mod Podge, that's watered down, place my paper towels on it, take my paintbrush, dip it into the glue, and just basically glue it on. This is the tissue. Again, it does harden up. The tissue is a little bit soft in some areas where I didn't get it to apply. And like I said, it's just not as hard and as dense as this paper towel was. And I mean, like I said, this is, pretty much ready to just get painted as is without the casting. But we got more of it here, and here's the track. Oh, that's the tower that came in the set that we got. I was able to hook that up and get it powered up, and the lights working on that. But we got a switch back there that comes in, like I said, actually two switches. One that comes down, one that comes into that middle staging area back there. So we got a total of four straights back there. Again, this is HO, and I believe it's 100. And here's some of our cars that we've purchased and collected. And back there is just more of the spare styrofoam. I'm not too sure if I want to leave that the way it is or what I'm going to do with that. But just want to give you guys a quick update on some of the work that you haven't seen that's being done. Again, I do have a birthday this week for my son and for my daughter, so I'm just trying to hurry up and get as much of this done as I can. I would have liked to have had the base, the ground cover and everything done by the end of the week. But slowly but surely, here's a couple buildings that we had, and we just include these in here as a staging area to kind of give us a rough idea of where we want to go with it. But my plan was to try to have the base covered and everything by the end of this week. That may not happen, but we're almost there, guys. If you ask me, the layout, it looks a lot better. I mean, it did look better elevated in the way I had it, but if you can see, it's a lot more that can be done now. Just as far as, picking up trains and dropping them off and stuff. Like I said, it gives me and my boys a way to learn how to use the switches and just to enjoy it. But there you have it, guys. That's our new HO vintage Atlas train track that we putting together. I thank all you guys for stopping out and checking out the channel. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay safe and stay blessed.